Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Shout out to the good folks of the algorithm. How you doing? I hope that you are having a good weekend. Happy post Valentine's Day. Shout out to all the lovers in the world. I was supposed to do this Valentine's Day live on Thursday, but I had to study for a test and exam, and I hope I did well. So I hope y'all wish me good well on my exams that I had to take on Friday. But I do have 3 cases for you guys that I want to review. And in the spirit of Valentine's Day, these cases are more about pretty much situations that went from love into loathed, and we're going to take a look at them right now. And shout out to Miss Jalen for being the first person here. Thank you so much. I truly, truly appreciate you. And shout out to Ronnie Ron. Thank you so much for stopping by. I truly appreciate you, sir. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Oh yeah, yes, it's time for court. Yes, it's time for court. Yes, definitely. So these few cases, I hope that you enjoy them. Like I said, they're in the spirit of Valentine's. We know Valentine's is supposed to be love in the air, but sometimes it can go sour. And we're gonna look at these particular cases where situations did turn sour. Okay. So the first one that I have for you is it's a very old case, but it's a case of a cigarette was able to get the DNA to find out what happened in this unaliving. And I want to take a look at it with you ladies and gents. So let me pull this up for you and we will get it going. All right, here we go.
This is Lisa Straub and her boyfriend, Johnny Clark. And on January 30th, 2011, Johnny picked up Lisa after she finished her shift at TGI Fridays, and together they went back to Lisa's parents' home. Lisa's parents were celebrating their 25th wedding anniversary on a week-long cruise, so the couple used the home as a place to hang out with each other and their friends. Lisa and Johnny were waiting for a phone call from a friend named Tiffany Williams, as they had planned to pick her up and bring her back to the home so they could all hang out and use the pool table that was there. Tiffany called Johnny to let him know that she was ready to be picked up, but after Johnny answered, Tiffany would overhear him talking to another man in the background, and it sounded like the conversation was getting heated. Johnny would hang up on Tiffany and she would attempt to call back over 22 times, but Johnny and Lisa never answered.
You called Johnny on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
How many times did it ring, you think? Remember?
Once or twice.
Okay,
He
1 to
picked
2
right up.
rings. Picked it right up.
Mm-hmm.
You know it was Johnny.
Yes.
How long of a pause before he said anything?
He didn't say hello.
All right, so he never said anything.
Never said hello.
So, all right, so you're on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
How long before you hear anything on the phone? What did you...
Like, as soon as he picked it up, he didn't say hello to me, but he was like, bro, what are you doing?
All right, I want to get this down again. Bro, what are you doing? Okay?
Okay, and he said that approximately 3 times.
Okay.
Then the
All right,
next,
give me his voice. Was it, bro, what are you doing? Or, bro, what are you doing?
yeah, just like that.
Was he
Bro,
sounded
yeah.
pissed?
Yeah.
Did he sound scared?
No.
You just
scared.
sounded pissed.
Just pissed, yeah.
All right, so you hear, bro, what are you doing 3 times? Johnny sounds pissed.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then what'd he say?
Then the next thing he said was, who the hell are you?
How many times?
Once. And then that's when I heard the other person in the background. But I couldn't hear what he was saying. You know, if you knew
How
Johnny,
did he end the conversation with you?
Tiff, I'm gonna call you back, and hung
Okay, now.
He didn't give me a chance to talk or anything.
Okay, he just hangs up, he says he'll call you back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, which means he probably knows who's in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Tiffany decided to get a ride to Lisa's parents' home to find out why her phone calls were going unanswered. After knocking on the door several times, Tiffany phoned Johnny's parents, and together they went back to the house and began looking into the windows. Through one of the windows, they would see the glow of a TV that had been left on and Johnny lying on the floor in front of it. After kicking down the door, they would find Johnny and Lisa dead with their hands bound and plastic bags taped around their heads.
Do you drive to school?
No, I ain't got no license, so I ain't been driving.
You don't have your license? What happened?
Child support.
We didn't look yet. Are there any child support warrants or anything like that out for you?
I got a misdemeanor. A misdemeanor probation violation. They got to go do 4 days. That's what I thought all this was about, but I know it's beyond that. Just from what dude was telling me out there.
What dude?
I don't know, whoever.
Detective?
Yeah.
Okay. Did you drink?
No.
Did you do any drugs?
No.
Nothing at all. You don't smoke weed. I mean,
Nothing. I do nothing. I smoke cigarettes, 3 packs a day. That's all I do.
It's expensive.
Yeah, since then.
It's almost as much as everything else anymore.
Listen, you're sober, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Before we go any further, we have to notify you your rights, all right?
The police began their investigation into the double homicide. The crime scene looked as if someone was searching for something specific. Drawers were pulled open and dumped onto the floor. Mattresses were flipped over, and the panel leading to the attic was open. The police interviewed friends and family, and they were told that Johnny used to brag that there was a safe in the house that had over $100,000 inside of it. This information turned out to be false, because on the night of the crime, the only money in the home was $40 in cash that was going to be used to order pizza. The police had many suspects and even more questions regarding the death of Johnny and Lisa. Their investigation would continue for many months. The only evidence they had was a used cigarette near the door leading to the garage, which they tested for DNA. The results would show that the cigarette had DNA which belonged to a man named Sam Williams. Sam had an extensive criminal history, and most of his crimes were violent ones. The police knew they had their prime suspect, so Sam was immediately brought in for questioning.
Do you want to talk to us?
Okay, so one of the biggest things that I take away so far from what we're getting is there was a noise. Someone had a phone call, and this phone call got heated. Then this person left. She goes back. She tries to find out where he is, not responding from the phone call. Go get his family members. They go check where he is. They go to this person's house. They see a TV on, and then they see their bodies there. My whole thing is, if he had like a argument or whatever the confrontation on the phone was, why did he leave to go to that place anyway? Why, I don't know. Like, maybe the only reason why I would think that he would leave it because he never thought that it would escalate to this type of situation. He probably thought that it was safe to go over there to discuss whatever argument that they were having. But I just find it quite strange that, the way how she was describing the phone call, how it was like more of like a panic, like something really happened, like something really was going on. Why didn't you call the police? Why would you go over there by yourself? Why would you go over there in the middle of the night in that type of way? But I'm glad that they found some type of DNA. It seemed like someone was looking for something, probably that story about the safe, after they did whatever they did to these individuals. They ransacked the house, but it's hard to say it's a robbery. You can't say it's a robbery because the girl confirmed that her and his family members went to kick the door down. So seeing the door in shambles is because they saw the body in there, right? So that makes it complicated to find out how many people was in that house at that time, DNA. So let's see what he has to say. Since his cigarette was at the door, that means that he was present, he was there at the time. So they're trying to find out, what do he know? Did you leave before this happened? Were you there? Are we going to find your DNA on their body or on some type of object or anything? This is what they're going to try to find out with him right now. So let's go on.
Only thing I want to know is what is it about?
All right.
And that's it. Other than that, I'm gonna wait for my lawyer. I'm not talking at all. I didn't do nothing. I don't know what this is about. Like I said, they would have called me or sent me something in the mail. I could have come down here like a civil human being. I didn't have to be humiliated like that.
All right, Sam. Nobody meant to humiliate you. You know how that shit runs. You're in criminal justice.
Yes.
You know how sometimes things jump off and go down. Okay. Couldn't be helped. That was not an intention to make you look small.
So what? My face just came on your guys' desk and said, "Go get that man," and
Well,
you guys just went and came
No,
and got me.
we'll get into that. All right. You got to be patient with us too.
Now, he had the right idea for the jump. He said, listen, I thought y'all was bringing me down here on some warrants for child support. Obviously, I see that this is not what it is. I'm not speaking anymore without a lawyer. He should have ended the discussion right then and there, but he didn't, because they get him to start talking, and then you start having the conversation without you even realizing that you are going against what you said initially that you was going to do, which is not have the conversation with them and call the lawyer. But let's go on.
All right. Do you have much time to hang with people?
What do you mean?
You got a lot of friends?
I know a lot of people.
Okay. And do you hang with them, do things with them?
For the most part.
Okay. Detective's gonna run a few names by you, okay? Let us know if you know these people or not, okay?
The first thing the detectives need to do is figure out how the cigarette got to the crime scene. They will begin to ask Sam questions regarding Johnny and Lisa and the home they were found in. If Sam denies that he knows either of them, then that eliminates the possibility that the cigarette was discarded while they were hanging out together. The detectives want to remove any excuses Sam may have as to why a cigarette with his DNA was found at the crime scene. When they finally confront Sam with the evidence, he won't be able to say that he knew Johnny and Lisa, and he had discarded the cigarette while visiting them.
You know a guy named Johnny Clark? You don't know John Clark? You know a young lady named Lisa Straub? No? Don't know Johnny Clark? You don't know Lisa Straub?
Did you get over in South Toledo very much?
No.
No.
I used to live in South Toledo. Probably me and my mom just bought that house, and that was 2 months ago on Prouty Street.
Okay.
How long did you stay over there?
Me and my mom was there no more than 3 or 4 months. Tops.
You know,
I was living with this woman, and I moved in with them because I didn't have no place to go. My mom took me in. That's where I was living at.
you know a young lady named Lindsay Straub?
I don't know any of them Straubs.
Okay. You ever
So this is very good tactic that the detectives did. They didn't throw out all the evidence that they already had on him, right? They wanted to see if he was going to come clean about whether or not if he knew these individuals, and if now he's saying that he don't know these individuals, then they can go and use his criminal background to say that he possibly did like do a home invasion and unalive these people, right? And they can rule out that this is a second degree murder because there's no relations there. It's not like you had an altercation out on the street and it just escalated. This is now you intentionally went in to unalive these individuals, right? And now your DNA is found on the scene and you saying that you don't even know these people at all. Very smart on their part to do it like that, because now they're letting him tell on himself. If he was really serious about not speaking with them and calling a lawyer, he should have had done that and kept true to his word that he was going to do that, because now all he's doing is basically exposing himself without even realizing that he is actually exposing himself. But let's go on.
ever get out in Springfield Township? You ever get that far south?
Holland, Ohio.
I stay on the east side.
Okay.
On the east side.
Just gonna show you a picture of a house. See if this house looks familiar to you.
Have to get that. That's as good as we have.
Yeah, that's good.
That house look familiar to you at all?
No.
you ever been to that house? It's in Springfield Township.
No.
Okay. You sure?
I'm positive.
All right.
All right.
100% positive.
All right.
Some more names?
Yeah. You know, what about a Chris? You know any Chris's? Chris Watson? Chris? You don't know this kid, Zach? Fat Zach, they call him. He's kind of a mix. White kid, black kid, about 17.
You got some pictures?
Yeah, we got some pictures
Yeah, we got some
around. Yeah,
pictures
we can
to
get you
show
some pictures.
Names, I mean, somebody says
What about
his name's
nicknames?
Frank and he's, you know what I'm saying?
See, I don't
He's
remember.
Frank and his actual name is Sam.
I'm terrible at names.
You know what I mean? So I really don't
What about
know.
a dude named Peanut? How about a nickname? Somebody like Peanut or Manny. Somebody they call Manny.
No?
When a detective interrogates a suspect, they will ask them questions that they will have no need to lie about. As most true crime fans know, this establishes a baseline of emotions and body language. The detectives can use this later when they ask questions they believe the suspect is lying about. If they see a change in how the suspect is reacting, they will know that they are heading in the right direction. In this case, the detectives will start asking Sam questions about his tattoo. Then they will move on to other questions they know he will have no reason to lie about.
You deal much with dudes from South?
No.
South Side?
I'm East Sider all the way. You guys see it. The East Side and
Casinos?
South Side does not get along at all. Like, seriously.
Well, I know.
I stayed on my side of the water.
Like
It was-
East Side with the bricks here. Is
it was
that, are
just
you a
a-
member of any gang or
It
anything?
was just a design that
What does
guy
it
had.
signify?
Yeah, I mean, what's it mean?
I'll be all the way honest with you. Probably about a group of 5 or 6 of us growing up in elementary. We played football. After that, we branched off, getting into trouble, smoking weed, you know, doing what kids do.
Y'all have the same tattoo?
Yeah.
Do you? Some of you guys designed. Or, do you remember when you had that applied?
Shit, I had to have been like, 7th grade. Probably like 13, going on 14 years old.
Okay.
Really?
I'm 24 now, so 10 years.
Did you do it yourself or
No,
how'd you do that?
who did it? His name was Big Jim, who did that. That's who did that. This one. Anyway.
What do you do?
then I
Just
went
make
to
out a
the shop.
design, take it to him?
No, he had the design himself.
Now, this is back in 2011. Was they allowing teenagers as old as 14, 15 to get tattoos? Because I don't even remember that. I remember that you had to always be at least like 18 to be in a tattoo parlor, right? Or 17 with your parent to probably get a piercing or something. Have it changed, or is it different in different states? Let me know if you know. Hi, Mary. How you doing? Happy Saturday. Good to see you, dear. Good to see you. Appreciate it. But I also find it quite weird that he said, "Oh no, this is not I'm not a part of no gang or nothing like that." Oh, so tell me about these tattoos. Oh, well, the east side don't mess with the west side, so I stay on my side. So how many people got this tattoo? Oh, I don't know what this tattoo really mean, but I know that it was 5 of my friends. 5 of my friends, we go way back since junior high school, and we all went and got the same exact tattoo. That doesn't signify that y'all are a part of some form of posse or something. I just thought that was really funny. Mary said you can get an unlicensed tattoo. Oh yeah, okay, definitely. You're right, Mary. Thank you very much. That is very, when you're younger, we definitely do a lot of stuff that is very reckless, right? And can really harm us. Very unhealthy. Let's go on.
What I was saying.
Make sure you grab some pictures. It'll help you because I ain't for shit for names either. So,
This would be Zach. You know that dude?
Hey, Hugo.
No.
Hi again. How are you doing?
This is a dude named Chris.
No.
Never seen him? This is Anthony or Tom.
That is true, Alan.
Never come across these three?
Neither one of them.
None of
At all.
these guys? Okay.
Never.
is there any reason any of these guys would say they know you?
No,
Okay.
I have no reason to know them at all. I don't do nothing. Like I said, I've been going to school. I mean, my mom can vouch for me on that one. I've been sitting in the house. I ain't been doing nothing.
And Starla stays with you over there and
For right now, but she just got her place in the ravines. We're going through some stuff right now. Me and her's not gonna be together because she got caught up in some bullshit. Last year, I was driving her car. She asked me to drop her off somewhere. I dropped her off, and the same people that pulled up on me today pulled me over, took me to jail for promoting prostitution, and I got out the next day, and I left. I asked her about it. She said just leave it alone. Me and her really haven't had the love for her, I should say.
Why do
Ever
you think?
since then,
Do you think she was doing something like that?
she lied to me. If she got caught in an operation, obviously something was going on that I didn't know.
so she asked you for a ride, you dropped her off, and she
Yeah.
was actually
So the girl that he was messing with was a sex worker, it seems, and she asked him for a ride, I guess, to drop her off wherever she was going at, and he got caught up in the sting with her. This is what he's he's saying. We don't necessarily know this is the truth or not, but this is what he's saying. He got caught up as being a part of it. That's messed up. That's messed up if that's actually true. Like what happened. Like he was just like, yo, can you drop me off? And she's like, and you like, yeah, I'm gonna drop you off. And she took him to an area that he didn't even know that it was being watched, and someone was waiting, and he got scooped up with the rest of them. But I don't know. He has I guess I'll have to look at his criminal history background if this is the first time that he was picked up on anything about soliciting. But so far, I'm just going to go off of what he's just saying. Let's go on.
into the.
Prostitution sting.
Oh, you got nailed.
Yeah, and that it just made my love for her not.
Did she get arrested?
Yeah, I got arrested and she got arrested, and it's like, I don't know, it's not been the same. I haven't been able to see my 6-month-old. That's why I've been going to school. Like, I don't want to live like that.
She hid all that from you.
Yeah, and it just really hurts me because she told me, I'm going to see my friend, but I needed a car today, so I was like, well, let me drop you off, and she let me drop her off, and so happened, I get caught. My mom lived there with her friend, and I more or less my mom said that she had let me stay with her for a little bit. I stayed in the same room as my mom and everything. I shared the bed with her. We stayed there for, I don't know, because she just got in that place. I helped her move from Western. She was living on Western.
So it had to be tough for you in the South End.
I didn't get out. I didn't get out I didn't really do nothing.
Yeah.
Go to school. You can even ask my mom. I went to school. That's all I really did.
So it wasn't tough on you.
I had to do something before I wasn't doing nothing at all. And that's how I just looked at it. I got 2 little boys to take care of. I don't want them growing up being hoodlums.
How do you do the child support?
I haven't been paying child support. I paid, what was it, $200 and some on my child support. I took that out of my grant money and paid for it.
Okay.
The grant money for school?
Yeah.
You're supposed to use it for school.
Yeah, well, I paid for all my books. I got everything taken care of that I needed to get taken care of, but I took out loans too.
Oh, okay.
I accepted my loans too, so I got to keep my loans. They gave me back like $4,300 or something. So that's what I've been living off of.
So now the grants, you don't have to pay that back.
No, the grants.
But the loans, you're gonna have to pay that back
when I graduate. Yeah.
when you graduate. How far along are you in school?
I just started this semester.
Oh, you did just start. Can I ask you how much does it cost to go to Owens as a full-time student?
With my books and stuff, I want to say it was like $2,700, and like pretty much my Pell Grant took care of all that.
Okay.
Everything the detectives have done, all of the questions they have asked, have led them to this point where they will finally confront Sam with the evidence. Sam had been a part of illegal activity for the past several years, so he has no idea exactly why he is being interrogated. He may think there is a possibility it could be about Johnny and Lisa, but it could very well be one of the many other crimes he has committed over the years. Had he known exactly why he was there, there's a good chance he would have stopped talking and asked for a lawyer. The detectives have done a great job getting him to answer questions surrounding the case, and now it's time to tell Sam exactly why he is there.
So now they have a baseline of understanding how he will answer questions when he's being forthcoming. So now when they're going to present some evidence to him in reference of the actual incident that they want to talk to him about, they're going to see if he's going to fluctuate within his mannerism, his body language, even the tonage of his voice. All these things is going to signify whether or not if he's going to be withholding something or if he's going to continue to be forthcoming. So let's see how he handles this.
What happened to you aside today? There's some things that Mr. Ross and I would like to talk to you about, okay? We ran some names by you.
Shout out to you, Mr. Logan.
You've been advised of your rights and stuff. You're saying you've never been to that house. Can we get to the meat of what we want to talk to you about then?
Go ahead.
We
Little problem at that house last winter. Did you hear anything about it?
No.
Okay.
Hey, young Reyes.
A couple
How
kids
you
were
doing?
found dead in there. Young adults. And they were probably the victim of a burglary. They got bum rushed in the place. You know what we're talking about, bum rushed? Somebody just crashes in on you and maybe robs you, burglarizes your house.
Most likely, Hugo. Yes.
I mean, you know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's what happened to these young couples.
So how did my name get
Thank
brought
you,
up
young
in this?
Reyes. I appreciate you.
Science.
I don't understand how.
Well, remember when these guys respond to a scene and they go in there, you're a criminal justice major, right? You cordon off the area. Everybody that is involved in that scene goes in, they start collecting evidence. Okay? These guys collected a lot of evidence. And they had a lot of evidence tested for DNA. Do you know what DNA is? Okay, explain to us what you think DNA is.
I'll drop the names down in the chat for you, Laura.
Saliva, whatever.
Saliva, poop, piss, skin cells, hair, follicles, all that stuff gives up an individual's
Most likely, Hugo.
individual characteristics. You buy that based on what you've been taught in school?
I haven't, I'm only doing my, like, basic courses right now. I'm not doing.
They will tell you soon enough that DNA is like fingerprints. You know, there's no two fingerprints that are alike. There's no two DNAs that are alike. Each must have a separate one. If they tested Jeff here, his would come up with a certain row of numbers that means something to the scientist. They tested you, you'd come up with a different bunch of numbers in a row that means something to the scientist. But yours would be like Jeff's. If I spit on a cotton swab and they did my DNA, numbers would come up. Mine would not be like yours. Mine would not be like his. We're all separate. Just like if they took our fingerprints tonight, your fingerprint would be different from Jeff's, be different from mine. Mine would be different from him and from you. You understand where we're going?
It's unique to the individual. There's no two DNAs that are alike.
Totally understand it.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, when these guys collected a lot of pieces of evidence in there that were involved in this crime, they sent it down to Bowling Green for testing. Okay? And items in that scene came back with your DNA on it. Okay? And how do you explain that? How can we explain that?
I have no idea.
You've never been to that house.
Never been to
You
that
don't know
house.
those kids.
I don't know them people.
And your DNA's in that house.
I don't know.
You have no idea?
Nope.
Do you understand where that puts you? Do you understand where this is going?
It would have been better for him to just go ahead and get a lawyer, right? He should have did exactly what he said that he was going to do. I'm not talking about nothing. I want to speak to my lawyer. And because now it's like it's over for him, because they asked him whether or not if he knew those individuals. He said no. He said he'd never been to that house. That's a lie, because your DNA wouldn't be there if you wasn't in that house. And it's not like it's like for example, you sold something to someone, right, on the black market or the marketplace, and some of your DNA is on there because they didn't clean it, right? They didn't clean it yet, and then an incident happened. This is not what happened. This is a whole cigarette. This is a whole cigarette bud that has all your saliva on it. All your saliva on it, and you're telling them that you ain't never been in this house before. He should had never said anything. Never. She would have did so much better if he would have been like, okay, get my lawyer. The lawyer could have had said something really good for him, pretty much saying that he probably now remembered that he went to the house. They had a party and he didn't know them, but he was invited to come, and that's why the cigarette butt was found there, because they had a party that night and he left, and that's why you found his DNA. It could have been something that the defense attorney could have worked it out for him, but because of the simple fact that he tried to take matters in his own hand, it doesn't look good. And we also see how once they explain how DNA works, now you see how at one point he was sitting up and he had his hands, pretty much the same way where he has his hands now, but now he's leaning back, right? Now he's leaning back like, oh crap. He's leaning back like, I don't know what you're talking about. He's going to start to get more defensive. And this is exactly what the detectives wanted to see in him. They wanted to see a change of reaction once they started letting him know some of the evidence that they have from the scene of the crime. And let's see. Shout out to Tattoo Bill. How are you doing, sir? You never talk to the police. You're absolutely right. Thank you. I appreciate you. All right. So let's go on. Let's see what he has to say about this.
Sam realizes that he has just been outsmarted, and he silently sits back in his chair as his brain races, trying to think of a solution to his problem.
That would have been
The detectives have eliminated almost every possible scenario as to why a DNA-covered cigarette was at the crime scene. Imagine if you were just accused of murder. How would you react? You probably wouldn't stay seated quietly in your chair. In fact, there's a good chance you would become very shocked and angry that someone would think you could commit such a crime.
You know, knowing your father, I don't think it's you. I don't think you have that stuff in you. But here you are, you're going to school, you're trying to take care of your two boys, you're living with your mom. Things get out of hand expense-wise. For Christ's sakes, he and I pay on a mortgage.
We're gonna go on, but you see now, guys, what is he doing? He's crossing his arms. The more that they're talking, and the more he's realizing that his DNA is at the scene of a crime, he's shutting down now. Right now, he's shutting down. The crossing of the arms means defensive, not going to be forthcoming in the situation. Also, probably a little angry, a little frustrated. But this is what the detectives was actually looking for. That's why they asked them the questions that they asked them in the beginning, just so they can get an idea of how he felt when he thought that he was telling a believable truth to the detectives, and how he's going to react when actual evidence that has been proven already that you was at the scene of the crime. They wanted to see the difference of his reaction. He should have just went with the lawyer at this point. He completely messed up right now. And the bad thing about it is, the irony of it is that he was in school to get his criminal his criminal degree.
$500 worth of brakes go out last month, and then I had to put 4 new tires on my car this month. It really set me behind, and I work. Okay? Now, when you got those kind of heavy problems, you discuss them with people. I don't give a shit. I do. Hell, I discuss them with my wife. I discuss them with my friends. Where's the best place I can go for tires? Where's the best place I can go for brakes? This is the kind of shit that builds up in our lives. And for me to say it didn't stress me, or for him to say that a mortgage doesn't stress him, and that sometimes we get in where we feel like we can't breathe, bullshit, because it happens to all of us. You got problems with your boys going to school, not being able to support them. Your girlfriend, mother of one of your children, hides a bunch of shit on you. You don't even know what she's about till she tells you. You discuss this stuff with people. I don't give a shit. You do. You're a human being. You say, I got problems. This is what my problems are. Okay? Follow me? Somebody says, hey, I think I can open a door for you. I think we can get you out of some of these problems. We can get you some money. Okay? And people discuss this with you and say, all we want you to do is maybe watch the door or watch them. Make sure it doesn't get out of hand, because we're going to rip them off. We're going to get some money, and you're going to get part of that money. All right? Now the ball's in your court. This is serious shit. This is very serious shit. What do you want to do with it? What do you want to do with your life? Where do you want to go from here? Can you tell us where you want to go from here? Do you want to cooperate in this investigation? Because you're in to your chin, okay? We want your help. We want to be able to say, this guy right here, father of 2 children, who had a lot of problems, realized the hole that he had dug for himself, and he wanted out of that hole. And he reached out his hand to us, and we took him by the hand. We helped him out of that hole. All right? You follow me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How do you want to work with this? This is the most,
what you're saying.
This is the most important moment of your life. This is the most important day of your life. Little did you know that when you got up this morning. Little did you know when you got up this morning, when you went out the house, when you said goodbye to your mom or whatever happened, or the last time you saw your kids. Little did you know that today, the 22nd of September, 2011 would be the most important day of your life, when it all comes crashing down around you. All right? Now, you say those officers out there humiliated you out there. All right? How's it going to look to the people out there when they find out you're in here and you're not helping yourself? You're humiliating yourself even more. What are these people going to think of you? What are your sons going to think of you? What is your mother going to think of you? These are the things you have to consider. You have to keep turning this shit around in your mind and say, wait a minute, this isn't me. This is something I got caught up in, but I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I'm going to lay it out there like a man, like I'm supposed to.
Sam would finally ask for a lawyer, and the interrogation would end. Further analysis of the cigarette would show a second type of DNA, which belonged to Cameo Petaway. Cameo would be charged with the same crimes as Sam, but he would be acquitted and released from prison, as the judge said there was not enough evidence to charge him with the crime. Sam, however, would be sentenced to life without the possibility of parole. To this day, Sam continues to claim he is innocent, and he was interviewed while in prison regarding the murders.
I was engaging in criminal activity. I call myself a petty drug dealer. I wasn't this big time drug dealer where I made a lot of money, but I made a little bit of money, enough money to survive, enough money to take care of my family and my kids, pay the bills.
Have you ever been to the Straub home?
I'd never been to the Straub home at all. And I told the detectives that when I was interviewed.
Did you know Johnny and Lisa?
I never met Johnny. I never met Lisa. I never knew anybody that knew them at all. So initially when Detective Kozak and Williams met the TPD officers, they switched cuffs. They took me into the detective bureau into an interrogation room. And I told them that I didn't want to talk, that I wanted to speak to my lawyer. At that moment, when they seen that I wasn't giving them the information that they was hoping for, then that's when Kozak said, then explain, why is your DNA on my crime scene? At that moment, I had told him, this conversation is over. I want to speak to my lawyer.
So in that situation, it was really tough because he could have not gotten a life sentence, and I'm going to explain why. Okay, if he would have just did what he said that he was going to do in the beginning and got a lawyer, he could have had gotten. They would have had to take more time to get more evidence. Since he was the prime suspect with that DNA, they went with that and it was able to get a conviction. You even seen in the interrogation process, they were using the ego up method that a lot of those detectives use, where they try to say, hey, you know, time is hard. Everybody make mistake. You don't seem like you really like that type of guy that want to go out and harm people. But if you needed money for school, you needed money for your kids, you had the situation with your girlfriend, people do desperate things in desperate times. They led with that after providing the evidence because they wanted to see if he was going to confess to doing anything. Now, he said still to this day, he's saying that he's innocent. And you know what's funny? It could be a possibility because I have yet heard of a weapon. I have yet heard of any evidence being on the weapon. The only thing that they have said in this video is that his DNA was found on a cigarette. Then they also said that it wasn't only his DNA found on the cigarette, it was another gentleman's DNA on that particular cigarette. Going back to what someone in the chat said earlier, let's say if he was smoking off someone, he was at a store, someone said, yo, can I can you share your cigarette? He shared the cigarette and gave it to them. And what if they committed the crime and then dropped the cigarette butt after committing the crime? That is a possibility, and he could have had a better case or got a defense attorney to look at it from that angle if he would have kept his mouth closed. But because he didn't, they were able to stick what they had on him, knowing that his DNA was at the crime. And that's why now he is serving the time. And he probably didn't even do it by himself. Truly. It's unfortunate, but prayers to the people that lost their life, because I don't like that two couples, a couple, they were in love and it seemed like somebody wanted to rob them and they both of their lives ended for something stupid. Very, very stupid. All right. So the next case that I have for you guys is when we have killer cops, right? When we have killer cops who pretends to be a concerned husband to cover up incidents. We know that not every situation is because they're diabolical. A lot of them do it because of PTSD or whatever situation that they're going through. They're human just like everybody else. But it's a different type of feeling when you realize that they go above and beyond to make sure that they don't get caught after doing a vicious crime towards someone that they love. And while y'all here, I hope y'all are enjoying. Please hit the like button for me. Share this out to anybody who likes these type of cases. And comment later on if you have any cases that you might want me to review with you guys later on when we end, right? So let me pull this up for you guys. All right, here we go.
911. What's the address? 911. What's the matter? Tell me where you're at.
She shot herself.
Okay, take a deep breath for me. Take a deep breath. Come on. I need you to help me here. Okay?
Yeah, so just so you know, we're 60 or nigh. This guy that we're going to, retired ISP. Yeah, but he's super volatile. He's torched off rounds. He's done all kinds of shit. So we're waiting for all of us to get here to go in and be aware that it could turn into something major. Wait with him.
Get gloves? Send in medical.
Got that?
Yep. Central 20.
She have anything?
No heartbeat.
Lividity?
Not seeing anything.
The recordings you have just heard and seen are evidence of what happened in the aftermath of Kendi Howard's death on February 2nd, 2021. Before we begin, we would like to extend our deepest sympathies to the family and loved ones of the victim in this case, Kendi Howard. Divorce can be heartbreaking for some couples, but for one 48-year-old Idaho woman who tried to make her marriage work for more than half her life, divorce wasn't an ending she was dreading. After 27 years, Kendi Howard was ready to move on. Her family and friends said that she was so elated about the decision that she was practically giddy about starting the next stage of her life. She was planning for a bright new future, one that did not include Daniel Howard. Kendi was a bubbly, outgoing person who loved the outdoors. She was the mother of 2 children, a daughter from a previous relationship, and a son she shared with Dan Howard. The couple lived in Athol, Idaho, a community that is part of the Coeur d'Alene metropolitan area. Kendi was taking concrete action to break ties with Dan Howard, a former Idaho state trooper who was jealous and controlling. She had recently made an offer on a house in Kamaya, Idaho, 176 miles away from Athol. That's where she rekindled a relationship with her high school sweetheart, Daniel Pardo. She had given notice at a company she worked for 20 years. Her dream was to open an antique store. But as the conclusion of the Howards' divorce grew near, tension between Kendi and Dan was reaching a breaking point. In the early morning hours of January 29, 2021, just 4 days before her death, Kendi made a distress call to her new boyfriend. She didn't speak to him directly, but left the line open so he could hear what was happening. He would later testify at Dan Howard's trial that Kendi was distraught and emotional, and he heard sounds of thuds in the background. He hung up and called Kendi's parents, who called 911.
Central Dispatch, this is... Yes.
All right. Before we actually go on, I just want to say that, prayers to this woman, her family, right? Because obviously it seemed like she has lost her life in this situation. So I wanted to start off in that. I understand that divorce is not easy, right? Divorce can seem quite hard for both people, the one who wants to leave and the one who doesn't want to leave. It can be a hard situation, but we have to get to the point where sometimes we're going to have to learn how to let go, even though how hard it is, just for just for your sake and the sake for others, right? It should never get to this point. And my thing is I personally believe if you're going to move on and you're in the divorce process, you have to do the best you can to remove yourself out of that situation. Don't stay in the same house with each other. Don't do it. That type of tension you can cut with a knife. It's just dangerous for both people, men and women, to stay in the house because you're trying to set everything up to actually, relocate. Try to do it as best as possible, even if you have to stay in those week long long-term stay hotels. If that's what you have to do it. It's just that you should just make safety your priority, right? You don't know what exactly someone is going through mentally and emotionally. And if you do know what's going on, you just want to protect yourself and protect them as well, right? Because staying around, knowing that you have that type of tension, then still trying to navigate the relationship or navigate every day as if the relationship is still the same, it can do a lot of things to you. It really can. So let's try let's try to do better. Let's go on.
I had a call from my daughter, Cindy Howard.
Okay.
She called in a panic, and I know her husband just got home from Alaska, and they're getting a divorce, and it didn't sound very good out there.
Tell me exactly what happened.
We was in bed, and my wife just got a phone call from a and here, I'll let you talk about it.
I got a call from a friend that she called them and she's in a panic and then hung up, and I've been trying to call her and she won't answer. She's had trouble with him before. Dan Howard, you guys have been there before. Okay. Are you at that location now? No, I'm in. Okay. And I got a call from another friend. Were there any weapons involved? I don't know if he has weapons. And we've been there before because he pretended to like I said, he'll kill you and take you with him before he does that. She just called her friend that was in a panic.
Hey, Laura, darling, how are you
and then
this
the phone hung up.
Saturday? Good to see you.
Just a second, just call me. Hello? Hello? That's it? Is that it? Yes. Pick up from the west. Pick up from the west. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Stay on the line with your dad. What? Stay on the line with your dad. Okay, she's calling me. She's in a panic. She asked if Dad's sick. That's a sign that she needs help. Okay. What is she saying? What's going on? Pardon? No. Is she saying what's going on? No, because he's there listening. That's why she
Get out of there, Alan.
And she's crying. Okay. It's crazy. I told her not to frickin'. Okay. All right. Do you think it's been physical? Yes. Okay. Yeah, you guys were there last summer because he pretended to commit. Okay. Okay. Hold on just 1 second. I just said I'm on the phone with the cops and she said, yeah. Is she saying anything? She's on the phone with her dad right now. Okay.
After Kendi's parents placed that call, police were dispatched to the Howard residence to conduct a welfare check. The officers reported that Kendi was anxious and scared, but seemed relieved when they arrived. She packed a bag and went to stay at her parents' home that night. When Kendi called her new boyfriend later that morning to tell him what had happened, she was upset and sobbing. She said she had woken up in bed to find Dan looming over her. He was dressed in black and wearing gloves. She spotted a gun magazine on the floor. She believed he was going to kill her. Her new boyfriend and her parents begged her not to return to the house the next day, but Kendi insisted that she had to go back. She wanted to make sure her animals were okay, and she had an eye appointment to keep.
So Alan said, I know, I just don't know how to. Okay, so I will tell you this, Alan. You had 25 years. It was ups and downs. It was a great experience, and you are still alive, and your life is not over. you have to also remember that you was Alan before you met your wife, right? You didn't lose your identity. You did not lose who you are, right? You just have to find joy in who you was prior to that relationship again. All right? And take it as an experience of good and bad. If you think about it in that way, it will help a whole lot more, right? Because you don't really feel like you lost anything. You learned something. Change the narrative. It will help you, okay? And with this situation, like I said, that can bring a lot of tension when you have a boyfriend now, but you're still staying in that house, right? That can hurt a lot of people, because some people don't, some people can't really control their emotions when they know that the person that they want to be with or whatever, um they see them moving on, and they see that that person, you're no longer a part of that person's future, and you see them laughing the way that you wanted them to express themselves before. You see that they're expressing themselves with a new person like that. That brings a lot of tension, right? And you don't need to continue to harm yourself. Oh no, I'm not talking about you, Alan. I'm actually talking about the actual case. But no problem, Alan. You're no problem. I think that was you got to be careful with that. That's why I do prefer that people, if you're separating, whether if it's just cohabitating with a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or you're actually in a marriage, once y'all have decided that this is over, then y'all really need to separate, relocate the best way possible fast, right? Don't try to just stay there and continue to live life like how it normally was, knowing that eventually that person is going to go, right? Or she's going to go, he's going to go. They're going to start bringing people, new people in their life. You don't want to see that. And if you know that that's not you, you can't handle it, please do what you need to do and be separate and handle it in that way. But it seemed like he was trying to harm her the day that her parents called the cops. That was very scary. I don't understand why she even went back at that point, because it might be that she probably went back to the marriage. If you was that scared that he was hovering over you in your bed, wearing all black, having a magazine on the side of the bed and gloves, I don't know. Like, there's nothing that's going to convince me to be thinking that, oh, that was just a fluke incident and I'm going to be safe back around you. Nothing would make me believe that. But let's go on.
Police would be called to the home again on February 2nd, this time because of a 911 call placed by Daniel Howard. Body-worn cameras by the responding officers captured his demeanor at the scene. He claimed Kendi had shot herself with a handgun while taking a bath on the second floor.
So medical's going to disturb your scene.
Oh, please, no.
Hi, guys.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Excuse me? I honestly haven't seen it. I know that she's...
No. Please don't tell me it's gonna go away.
Hi, sir. Good, how are you?
Oh, please.
Do you need anything?
Investigators noted in their reports that although Dan made loud wailing noises while they were at his house, there were no physical indications of crying, such as tears or mucus. As one officer wrote, the long-term excessive show of emotion seemed especially odd for a seasoned former law enforcement officer and former Marine. After they checked on Kendi and determined that there were no signs of life, officers briefly discussed how to handle notifying Dan of his wife's death.
Hey, Zach. Yep.
Hi, Brandy. So far, we're going over a case of a cop that potentially unalived his wife, and he's pretending to be a very caring and doting husband after seeing that his wife is unalived up in the bathroom. So we're looking at the police cam right now, the body cam right now, and then we'll go into the interrogation process later on. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, Matt. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And also, like I said, even though what the video essayist just said is true, most of them will look like, okay, where's the crying? Where's the mucus? You're doing all this wailing, but we don't see no tear drop from your eye. That is true. That is a sign that you could potentially be, lying, right? Or trying to put on waterworks or trying to make yourself cry. They're going to look out to that. That is a red flag. However, we do know that people experience trauma different. Not everyone is going to respond wailing and going out of control. Some people are very, calm, or they need to actually remove themselves from people to gather themselves up. Is going to, trauma looks different in other people, especially losing a loved one, right? But in this situation, they pointed out two things about this man's background. He's been a police officer for over 20 years. He was also a Marine. He probably served maybe 2 terms, 3 terms. So this is not his first rodeo and experiencing dire situations or someone being unalive potentially. And he's probably been able to, remain calm or keep his emotions in check. So they're wondering, why is he acting in this type of particular way? And especially when there's no waterworks coming out, there's no actual tears coming out in their eyes. So that's ringing a red flag for them. But, like I said, just keep in mind, not everybody is going to grieve the same way.
Do we give him, this is a different case, so given the circumstances of him and emotions and things like that, do we want to tell him? I don't think did medical tell him that she did?
I don't think so.
Do we want to tell him, or do you want to wait?
You better tell him.
Okay, I got it. Actually, you know what? You haven't done one. That's all.
Okay. Before I take pictures?
Yeah.
Okay. What's his name?
Hey, Jenny.
Dan. Thank you.
Can't really tell.
Dan. Hey, Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Dan? Hey, Dan, I'm Deputy Wheeler. I'm sorry to inform you, but your wife is passed, sir.
No! God damn it!
Hey, Dan?
I got it.
Hey, Dan? Is there anyone that we can call for you? Anyone that
It's
can...
good toasting my... Oh my God!
Is there anyone we can call to give you some support or anything like that? Any family that... Dan, I know this is hard, but when is the last time that you saw your wife alive? I know this is tough.
I don't know.
How long ago? Can you recall?
What time is it?
Did you call 911 when you heard the gunshot?
No.
Okay.
I didn't. Well,
Yes, it is.
Well, help us out with the time frame, all right?
I didn't think it was a gunshot. I was
Okay.
downstairs, TV going. It sounded like something hit the floor or something. I don't know.
When was the last time you saw your wife before she went to go take a bath?
Hour and a half.
Hour and a half?
Two
Hour
and a half?
Okay.
Hour and a half or something. I don't know.
Okay.
I really don't know. I'm out of it.
It's about 11:15.
Maybe 9:30.
9:30 or so?
I think.
Okay.
I don't know. It might be wrong. Oh my God.
Despite his best efforts to present himself as an innocent man, investigators were immediately suspicious of Dan Howard because they knew he had a volatile past. In 2013, after he found out Kendi was having an affair with their neighbor and friend Matthew Wood, his response was extreme and multi-pronged, according to the Kootenai County Prosecutor's Office. Dan pointed an assault rifle at Matthew and threatened to splatter his brains all over the wall. He fired a shotgun at the roof of the house, stole his guns and mail, and poured syrup in his vehicles. He graffitied the lawn so conspicuously it could be seen from Google Earth satellite imagery. Dan also sent Matthew vulgar and threatening messages telling him he was lucky to still be breathing and that he understood why men kill their old ladies. He followed Matthew around in his patrol vehicle and confronted him at work, where he ripped a piece of metal off his desk and smashed it into his laptop computer. The neighbor grew so fearful of Dan that he eventually fled his Athol home and moved to Washington State just to get away from him. Dan Howard was charged with first-degree stalking, aggravated assault, and malicious injury to property in connection with those crimes. He admitted to some of the acts, but not all, and agreed to pay restitution to Matthew. When officers interviewed Dan at his house on the night of Kendi's death, he attempted to portray his wife as irrational and unstable. He claimed that she had threatened to harm herself many times before.
Did she ever make any statements that made you concerned about her well-being?
Okay, so there's a lot of red flags with this. So if you did that to a neighbor, how is nobody going to believe that you wouldn't do something worse to your wife? That was a neighbor. You was defecating on his lawn. You put sugar in his tank. You peed on his car. You did all that crazy thing to a neighbor that he had to literally uproot himself and his family and move like 2 towns away. And he was fearful because you are the cop. You are the local cop, and you was patrolling around in your uniform. And he was afraid that you might try to charge him up with something or make it seem like it was an accident or you had to defend your life and try to unalive him. If you can do that to your neighbor, God knows what you can do to your wife, right? And then in the beginning, it's been expressed throughout her family that the wife was very happy, very, very happy to be getting this divorce and starting her new life. And she had a new mate too. Why would she want to take her life? Why would she commit suicide after getting a new boyfriend and she has children that she has to live for? It really doesn't make sense, right? So I don't find it surprising now that he's talking with the police and they want to know the timeline from when the weapon went off, when she went to the bathroom, where were you, and all the stuff like that, that he's going to try to say that she was irrational. She was probably having mental problems, probably say that she was an alcoholic. All these things is going to pop out, that this is potentially why she unalived herself. But he's a cop. He should know that they can tell by the trajectory of how the bullet was entered into her body that if it was self-inflicted or not. He should know that. So I'm really surprised that he's doing this. But let's hear what he has to say.
Yeah, about every day. Well, it's just she's so emotional. You know, she tells us, well, we should split up, and I'd agree with her, and then she'd go the other way.
How long has this been going on?
This hitch, last hitch, we're pretty distant, you know. I knew something was up, but
Last month then?
yeah, whatever that turned out to be, yeah, pretty distant.
Do you suspect she was cheating on you again?
I asked her that. I asked her that to give me closure, because, you know, that would be it. But she said she hadn't been.
You believe it?
Man, her behavior, I don't know. It just doesn't add up. Okay?
What does it add up?
She's behaving the same way she was before. And, you know, before we made a go, that was pretty good. And, when she said she didn't want a divorce, or she does want a divorce, it changed about every other day.
Dan said his marriage to Kendi became strained because they had a long-distance relationship half the time. He worked in Alaska's Prudhoe Bay, operating equipment with a schedule of 3 weeks on and 3 weeks off. That wasn't always the case. Back in 2014, Dan resigned his job of 19 years as a trooper with the Idaho State Police following his suspension. His stalking behavior toward Matthew Wood led to his downfall. When law enforcement served a warrant on his property in connection with the case, they found thousands of rounds of ammunition he had stolen from the Idaho State Patrol. They also learned he had a fraudulent title for his Harley-Davidson motorcycle and a white-tailed deer that he had poached without a license. He was charged in both Kootenai and Bonner counties for these offenses. Dan Howard was sentenced in early 2015 for malicious injury to property, petty theft, title fraud, and failing to tag a deer he shot. He was ordered to serve 120 days in jail and complete 600 hours of community service. He was also given a suspended prison term for 3 years and placed on probation. Although the Howards' marriage had somehow managed to survive all of the previous turmoil, it seemed that Kendi had made up her mind this time. She was done with him. On the night that Kendi died, Dan claimed it was an issue that had come up between them regarding the divorce that had pushed her over the edge. He said she became very upset and emotional when he insisted that they include the Kamaya house in the liquidation and split of their assets, even though she had put the offer in on the house herself. Dan said Kendi had the gun because she had asked him to get it out of their safe a couple of days prior so she would have it as part of the division of assets.
She went and put earnest money on a house while I was up on the slope down there. Texted me once that she was going to go see an attorney. She saw the attorney a day before I got in, and then she had those papers. And I tried to talk her out of it. Let's talk first. Well, she didn't. And so since I've been here, we've been just going back and forth. You want to make it work? Okay, I'll encourage you to make it work. If you don't want to make it work, I'm encouraging you to still make it work. I couldn't see throwing 27 years away. But then, you know, I'm the one that filled out the papers, and I'll give her what she wants, if that's what she wants. And then she will do everything 50-50, okay. That includes the flipping house down there. Oh, which one? Wait.
So obviously you're wanting to make things work here, and she's
I'm trying to encourage her.
And she's telling you, you're not hearing me, I want the house and to change.
Okay.
I feel out of love, but breaks my heart. I'm hurting you.
Yeah, and then she'll come back and go, well, I'm not sure if I want the divorce. We'll let that count.
Kendi and Dan's joint assets reportedly totaled about $2 million. He denied that dividing it in half bothered him, but people close to Kendi told police that he was ultra-focused on money and would hassle her about debit card transactions as small as $10. Being forced to split their substantial nest egg was viewed by investigators as a powerful motive for Kendi's murder. They weren't the only ones who viewed Dan with suspicion. When the police were processing the scene at his house, Dan took a phone call from his stepdaughter. She was yelling at him so loudly that the officers could hear her from across the room. They used this conflict as an opportunity to confront Dan about whether he was telling the truth.
I think you killed your wife.
I have no idea.
Because I got to tell you, that phone call put chills down my spine.
Yeah, I don't believe he was down with the 50-50 because he wasn't even down with the divorce. He didn't want to give her divorce. He keep on telling the detective that he was encouraging her to stay together and to make this work. That means that you was trying to force her. You was trying to force her. You was not trying to give her this divorce. And you definitely did not want to do the 50-50 part. You didn't want to split the assets down. It doesn't make any sense how he's expressing himself to the detective. It's completely different than his actual active, how he was acting when he was dealing with his wife in this whole divorce process. You almost, I would say it was a domestic violence situation where she had to go stay with her parents at one point. I don't know why, if you're doing this, legally, why not get your lawyers involved to talk about splitting the assets down and doing it in a comfortable setting, not at the house, not when nobody else is a witness? Why do it there, right? To me personally, it seemed like he kind of like bum rushed her to talk about the divorce, and one thing led to another because he didn't get the outcome that he wanted. Her saying, okay, I'll stay in this marriage and we're not splitting up. That's what I'm getting from it. But let's go on.
Many people.
You did it, didn't you, Dan?
No, I didn't.
I didn't think so, but now, after listening to that, I think you did, didn't you?
How the hell, she doesn't know. She wasn't here. She knows what does she knows that there's a divorce going on.
What does she know? She knows something. She wouldn't have reacted the way she did.
Well, I don't know what it is.
Mother, she obviously had concerns if that was her knee jerk.
Okay. Well,
you understand where we're coming from?
Because I have talked to my daughter about that. You think all you want.
I think you did.
No, I didn't.
The condition of Kendi's body indicated that she had fought hard to save her life. The violent struggle left her with a broken jaw, bruises all over her body, lacerations on her feet, and a second-degree burn on her arm. Prosecutors asserted that Dan asphyxiated Kendi by putting her in a carotid restraint. The technique involves placing an arm around the victim's neck to apply pressure that cuts off the blood flow to the brain. It can render someone unconscious in seconds. Investigators believe that Dan Howard then removed Kendi's clothing and carried her lifeless body into the bathroom where he filled the bathtub, put the gun in her mouth, and pulled the trigger. The gun was found in the water with her. The bullet had a downward trajectory, but self-inflicted gunshot wounds usually have an upward or horizontal trajectory. And there wasn't much blood at the scene, further supporting the theory that the wound occurred after death. It wasn't until 2 years after Kendi died that Dan was charged with killing her. 1 year later, while his trial was underway, he was arrested at the Spokane International Airport for breaking the conditions of his release that prohibited him from going within 2 miles of the airport. In March of 2024, Dan Howard was convicted of second-degree murder and domestic battery. At his sentencing hearing, he continued to deny that he had killed his wife.
Hey, Lana.
Hi.
stand before you, shell of a man needs to be. Hell, I don't even have a shell left. My wife took her life. My will to live went down significantly. And when the jury found me guilty of crimes I didn't commit, it went down even further.
The judge cited a combination of factors that drove Daniel Howard to kill Kendi, including jealousy, greed, pride, anger, and revenge. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole for the murder and received an additional 10-year sentence for domestic battery that will run concurrently. If you found this case compelling, don't forget to like the video, comment down below, and give us your take on it. And
That was horrible. That was really, really horrible. He really tried to play it off, and he's still saying that he's innocent. I told you, it's the trajectory of the bullet. You can tell when it's self-inflicted and when it's not self-inflicted, right? And then when they said that she actually died for asphyxiation, yeah, that's why it wasn't that much blood splatter when he actually shot the weapon, because she was already gone. Right? She was already gone. So there's no more blood pumping to the big arteries and the organs. No. So that's why that happened. It's sad that he would do something like this because he didn't want to let her go. He didn't want her to enjoy her life. Look what he did to his own daughter. He took away a mom from her a mom from her previous relationship, the stepdaughter. And that's why the cops kind of knew that it had to be him, because the stepdaughter called them during the investigation, and she's wailing and screaming at him and probably saying the most wickedest things that she possibly could, because she already knew that this man was harming her mom, and that her mom was trying to get away because it was dangerous. And to hear that her mom is no longer here, she knew that he had something to do with it. She knew that he had something to do with it. And that made them, that put the pieces together. I'm surprised they didn't say anything about finding his DNA on the weapon. I'm very surprised about that. They didn't say anything about DNA on his DNA on her body. But then again, if she was in the house, they're thinking that they're cohabitating with each other. They're thinking that they probably have touched each other throughout the day. So that's probably why they didn't include it into this case. But it's really, really sad all around that this woman could not just live her life. And yes, she had 27 years together. Ups and downs. It was an experience, but she's on a different part of her life journey, and you had yours too. But to take that from her and think that you have the right to take that from her, it will never sit well for me. Never sit well for me. Don't do that. You do not have the right to take anybody's life or stop what they have going for them because you think that you're in control of them, or you think that you're entitled to them. You're not. And that's across the board between men and women. You're not entitled to nobody. Once they decide that it's over, it's over. Okay. All right, guys. So the last one that I have for you is an interesting one. Shout out to everybody that's been participating in the chat. I truly appreciate you. Please make sure you're getting the like buttons up, and also share this out to anybody who like these type of cases, that we can go over it with each other and, converse in the chat. And let's see, Paula. Hi, Paula. She said, yeah, that's awful. She's probably lived in fear for a long time. Yeah, absolutely. Especially with all those prior cases of him stalking, stealing ammunition from the state police department, all those things. And then her own interactions with him. Yeah, she was ready to get away. She was ready. She was done. She was tired of making excuses for herself and tired of making excuses for him. And he couldn't accept that. So the last case that I have for you guys is quite interesting when I ran across it, and I hope that you enjoyed it. It's when a student kills her teacher and she thinks that she's going to get away with it. However, there is many people that is in this incident that happened with this teacher. They're going to, I guess, expose people who was committing adultery, probably a robbery situation. There's a lot of hands in it, so we might not get the suspect might not be who we actually think it is. But let's look at it with each other. I hope y'all enjoy it. Here we go.
On July 11th, 2019, officers in Fort Smith, Arkansas received a call from a neighbor requesting a welfare check at the home of 72-year-old William Dubois Jr. The neighbor had grown increasingly worried when he heard an unusual noise coming from William's home a few days earlier and had seen no sign of him since. Officers were quickly dispatched to investigate further.
Hello. Good. Him?
This is Denton Stringer, the neighbor who called 911 to request a welfare check. He would soon prove to be more involved in this case than just being a neighbor.
He's not answering?
He's not answering, but I was laying in my bed the other night. I heard something fall. Sound like
Does he have a car?
Yeah, a car, but
Where's his car?
his car's been gone for 2-3 days.
Well, maybe he's gone. Okay.
He would told us.
Okay.
He would told us, ma'am.
Okay. You know what position his bedroom is at?
Back that way, I
Okay.
think.
I'll come back and talk to you in just a second, okay?
The officer believes William might just have left. That is, until she discovers a disturbing odor coming from inside the house.
1-9 station. Can we have an operator meet me on 3, please?
Due to the unusual situation, Officer Hendricks calls for a backup officer, who arrived quickly and would be briefed on the discoveries.
I have 1 piece of mail. He said 2 nights ago he heard a really loud boom. There's an odd smell when I open the door. No flies up here. When I rounded the corner, you only get it every now and then. Wait till you round the corner. That's when I really... Yeah, I'm getting it right here. I know that smell.
That odor could have been coming from the trash can, but Officer Hendricks was convinced it was coming from inside the house. The officers needed to get in. However, a strange odor alone was not enough to obtain a search warrant. So, Officer Hendricks decided to ask around the neighborhood, and she would soon discover that Denton Stringer had done some suspicious things since William's disappearance. But before we get to that, situations like these can be especially traumatizing for those working the case, but that's also the case for people watching these videos, just like you at home. If you've ever felt that you need help with mental health, you should know that there are always people you can reach out to. That's why I'd like to thank BetterHelp, the sponsor of today's video. I've partnered with them to help provide you with an easy and simple solution to therapy. Therapy has helped me. With that said, let's get back to the officers on the scene. Officer Hendricks didn't waste any time and decided to head to the store directly across from William's house to see if anyone had seen or heard anything.
Yeah, it's hot, so. Okay, so the neighbor over there says that that man sometimes comes over and talks with y'all? He does, ma'am. When's the last time you saw him or his car?
That's what she just said. I'm not seen it in probably 2 days, but
that's what he's saying.
I'm not for sure when the last time that I know it's been 2 days that it has not been out there. Yeah, the next people next door, we've had some problems. I mean, not us necessarily, but they fight out there. But Bill's always been really great.
Right.
To watch our place.
Okay. The guy and the neighbor, there's some.
I mean, he come over here to call Bill's number, like a 1-800 number. And listen, I called the police on the other side because of the women out there fighting and everything, screaming from the kids. So
on his side?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I've said if anybody did anything, it would be them. I mean, that's exactly, I shouldn't even say that. But because it's just odd that they come over here and then he's telling us to call Bill like this, we should check on this one.
He doesn't have a phone.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said his daughter stole his phone.
2700.
Hey, he was a teacher at my junior high. So these people over here are saying that the guy next door is like always has some type of drama going on. Him and whoever are always fighting. Not him and Bill, but him and someone else. I mean, worst case scenario is somebody's, done something bad and took his car.
What the shop owner just revealed is very significant. Firstly, William, who is known around the neighborhood by Bill, hasn't been seen for the past 2 to 3 days, which is highly unusual according to the shop owner. Secondly, William's neighbor, Denton Stringer, is known to have frequent drama at his house involving various women. Recently, Denton had asked the shop owner to call William to check on him, explaining that his daughter had stolen his phone. If true, this daughter might be the same woman Denton argues with often, and if she took his phone, there is a possibility she could also be linked to William's car missing. Finally, the shop owner claims that if something bad happened to William, it would be them, suggesting that Denton and the daughter were likely involved. All of this casts suspicion on both Denton and his daughter. Officers hope that whatever they find inside William's house might reveal just how involved they were in his disappearance.
I find that kind of disturbing, and this is getting kind of eerie, is because it was the neighbor who called wondering about Bill. Then when they went to the shopette said, hey, yeah, if anything happens, there's always something going on with the same neighbor that called you to say, hey, do a wellness check on Bill. And now they're talking about this daughter. And they're saying that they have all these people that comes in and outside of the house. The daughter's missing. Bill's saying that his phone got taken by the daughter. The car is missing. So I understand why they're going to be looking for the daughter to see potentially if she has the car. But the thing about it is like, if the shopette is not that far away, and if Bill realized that the car is gone, but the neighbor realized that the car is gone, but Bill never stopped by and said, hey, I'm leaving out, I'm going on a trip or something, I'm going to go see family. Why would it take you 2 to 3 days to question that, right? If y'all that close, wouldn't you call him and say, hey, are you okay? He's of an older age and stuff like that. It makes it seem like, you're trying to lead the detectives to believe that y'all are very concerned neighbors and that y'all had a relationship. So if you had a relationship where y'all kept tabs with each other, why wait 2 to 3 days before you actually call the cops to say, hey, please do a wellness check on Bill. We haven't got a response from him. It just seems kind of weird to me. So I hope they do investigate it a little bit more. Let's see. Okay, I will put the link in the chat for you. Un poquito. I will put it in the chat for you. RS Gypsy said these are traffickers. Oh, wow. Okay. I have asked for help. Okay. And both of their phones are gone? Oh, this is interesting. All right. Shout out to you. Thank you.
With all of this in her head, Officer Hendricks returns to William's house, where officers had managed to contact the landlord for an additional key. Nothing could have prepared them for the horrifying scene they would discover inside.
Oh, that's good.
Really?
There's some here, some behind you.
I know what it is.
And there's no TV in the living room. It's missing.
As officers enter the house, they find William's lifeless body in the bathroom. It soon becomes clear that this was no natural passing.
Is that splatter on the door frame?
What?
Is that splatter on the door frame?
Yes, splatter.
Okay.
There's a dog right there.
Oh, wow. Maybe his door was unlocked. There's no phone either.
What the officers had discovered was nothing short of horrific, but the attacker had left a lot of clues, meaning police could piece together a story. For starters, the body had a strong, rotten smell indicating that William had likely been dead for over 24 hours. Throughout the house, shelves and drawers had been left open, with numerous valuables missing. This initially led investigators to believe it was a robbery. However, this is where they discovered something very curious. The front door had been locked from the outside, and there were no signs of forced entry. Officers realized that a scenario like this couldn't be possible unless William's attacker somehow had a key to his house. In other words, whoever did this to William must have a closer connection to him than a random burglar. This made the shop owner's earlier comments even more interesting to police. They had mentioned that if anything happened to William, it would probably be Denton and his so-called daughter, both of whom were close enough to William to have been given a spare key. So with no better leads, Denton quickly became the main focus of the investigation, and police began to wonder if he was simply a concerned neighbor or if he knew far more about William's death than he was letting on.
I didn't even notice his TV's missing too. TV's missing, no wallet, no phone, no forced entry. I think we need to talk to this guy. He just got here. Oh, I told Jeff. Yeah, I talked with them over there. They said he comes over a lot and talks with them. And they said if anything ever happened to him, it would be because of somebody over in his apartment. You notice that there's some red fuzz all over the place. I'm not sure what that is.
He's laying on the blanket that the fuzz I think came from. But there's fuzz in like the kitchen. There's fuzz on this couch right here.
Okay. All the doors in his bedroom are open. Keys, wallet, phone, stuff that normally would be laying out.
Yeah.
So,
He's got a random. What kind of car? I got it. He just told me it was red.
it's a red Ford Focus. We have the tag and everything. And Courtney just sent out a bolo. Did not release any information. Just said just stop this vehicle and notify our department.
To find answers, the cops needed to locate that red Ford Focus, which was now on the radar of the entire Fort Smith Police Department. Whoever had possession of William's vehicle could undoubtedly help solve this case, but the officers had no idea where to start looking until William's son arrived at the scene, providing them with a major breakthrough.
That's his son. That's his son. 10-4.
There's
Every
a little,
unit out here, please.
Black box in the tractor, yeah.
Did you say where it went, where the car's at?
Mom does that with her cars.
He says there is a tractor, but it's not at his mom's house.
Mom does it with her cars too.
But the car's not at the mom's house.
Okay. No.
According to the Sun, William had a GPS tracking device installed in his car, and the car is actually owned by William's wife, Susan, who has access to a mobile app that could track his location. The cops now know this tracking device is their only key to crack the case wide open and catch the killer. So with this in mind, officers would quickly redirect their attention to Susan's home, but unfortunately, they'd also have the difficult task of informing Susan that her husband passed away.
I need him up now. Go, Cage. I can't. You gotta sit here and talk to the officers.
Cubby. Can we use the restroom? Hi, Miss Susan. I'm Officer Hendricks. I'm sorry meeting you under these circumstances.
I know you.
You know me?
I've seen you at Northside Games.
I have been there. Now, during, you want to sit down for a minute?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
It might be better on your legs.
Yeah.
Just
have a seat for that.
experiencing that.
In every death investigation, we do a complete investigation from top to bottom because we don't want to leave any stone unturned. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm a retired nurse, so.
Okay. Well, and we're not saying this is a homicide at this point, okay?
No, he had a heart condition
Right.
and strokes.
And he could have fell and hit his head, but there's some blood there that we're concerned about. Does that make sense?
He probably fell.
Okay.
He
And
was
now,
acting so strange Saturday.
Here's our biggest issue. He was acting strange Saturday? Okay. Here's our biggest we have right now is the car is missing.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Yep.
Where's your tracker? Do you have a tracker on that car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her phone, right here.
No, that's Teresa's.
Okay.
Mine's in the little kitchen.
Okay.
Or in the bathroom.
Somebody run get her phone. If you can try to get me a location on that car, that's going to help us.
It's going to be tremendous.
And it could be the fact that you left it somewhere and got to run home with somebody. It could be a business.
Florida Station, UQ2, next up records to my location.
Off Kelly Highway.
That's it.
Pretty sure it's stationary.
It's parked at a house.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
And it's through JB Byrider too. The car is at JB.
Who's north?
It's through JB Byrider.
What? Okay.
Thanks to Susan, the cops now know where the missing vehicle is. Without wasting any time, officers quickly leave Susan's house and head towards the location of the car, but they have no idea who has it or what kind of danger they could be facing when they find it. After all, this is the stolen car of a murdered man.
Hello?
How you doing?
Y'all live here?
I don't. I'm from my mom.
Okay, you live here?
No, I just come to the yard.
Okay.
Yes, sir. What's wrong?
They're looking out the window. We got people looking out the window, so let's... You got an ID on you?
Yes, ma'am. I have an ID. I will know it's actually that's in the water. So just
I just want to say that I feel bad for the wife. Obviously they live in separate homes, but they still had somewhat of a relationship that she did worry about him and his health, and she kept the tracker on the phone. She also allowed him to keep not the phone, the car, and she also allowed him to keep the car. That would be, startling news to anyone, especially, that's your husband. You might not be able to live with him, but you still care about him. You still want him to be okay. And to hear something like that happen. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to hear that lady, crying in that way. But it seemed whoever had the vehicle went to this particular town, probably to meet up with some friends. That's what they're going, and they have to come, guns out, whatever. Not, they don't know who actually has the car. They don't know if this person is dangerous or not. So they have to, pursue this in this particular type of way. Hopefully everybody is understanding about it. Hey, RJ, how you doing? How you doing? Good to see you, sir. I hope you're having a great weekend. Let's go on.
Your wallet out. Channel 1. Okay, let's go inside. Let's go inside. Let's go get your wallet. No. You can go. You can do whatever you gotta do.
make her go too.
Oh, hang tight. We're gonna be parked there for a second.
She should have to go too.
Go where?
Whoever.
Go inside with us? I mean, she can. Hang tight for me right here. We're gonna all go over here. Let's all go over here.
What's going on?
I don't know. Let's go over here.
I mean, what, have we done something wrong?
Yeah, something's going on. Go over there and we'll explain it to you.
It seems there's someone in this house who wants to avoid the cops, and these officers know they could be walking into an ambush, so everybody behind that door is a person of interest.
Okay, so basically, they came out the back. They tried to go out the back. They said they were going outside to smoke. Somebody just shut the front door on me, so...
Portsmouth Police Department.
Hey, come out with your hands up. We know you're in here. Come out. Portsmouth Police Department.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Go ahead, hold traffic.
Channel for 33.
Come on.
Hey, come out. Come out. It's okay. It's okay. Just come out on the side of the house.
What have we done wrong?
Who else is here?
It's an investigation. Investigation?
We're going to explain that. We're going to explain that. Who else is in here? Come on.
What's going on?
Just walk out to that side of the house for me. Who else is in here? Is anybody else in here? Just walk out here, right here, to the right. Thank you.
What's going on here?
Taylor Elkins.
That's Taylor Elkins. Who else is in here? Okay. Go ahead and step out. No, go ahead and step out. Portsmouth Police, this is your last time to come out freely. Come out with your hands up. Keep your hands in the air where I can see them. Keep your hands in the air where I can see them. Good. Keep walking. Keep walking. Walk toward me.
Randall Perkins, correct?
Pickens. Okay. Randall, go ahead. Step off that porch and to your right on the side of the house, okay? Who else is back here? Be real with me.
I don't know who came out.
Officers would go on to conduct a room-by-room sweep of the house and confirm it was empty before returning outside to face a different challenge. A handful of detained suspects with potential ties to Williams' missing car. Among the small group, officers noted a mix of faces, some nervous, some indifferent, but it wasn't immediately clear who knew what until the question of the red car came up.
All these subjects were inside the house. When asked any of them, who's this red car, they all pointed to Taylor Elkins.
The moment Officer Shelby asked who owned the red Ford parked out front, everyone pointed, without hesitation, at the same person, Taylor Elkins. The first woman who exited the house earlier when police barged inside. Having possession of a man's car who had just turned up dead.
Shout out to my brother from Detroit, RJ. He said, "This is my gift and proposal," and she said, "Yes." Congratulations to you, sir. You seem to have had a great Valentine's Day. Congratulations to you. I'm so happy that she said yes, sir. Awesome, 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 awesome. And before we continue on with the case, it's unfortunate that, we have people in our lives and we don't be around them 24/7. We don't know what they do. And sometimes they'll come into your life and bring their drama and your misdrifts into their household. It seemed like these people in this house don't even know what's going on. And after being a part of this incident, she comes and drives a stolen vehicle to their house, sit up shop, and get them all included. And you see how sometimes people are just really not really real friends or good people, because people who are good to you, you don't bring that type of drama and mess in them and try to destroy their lives, but you're trying to hide yourself. You're trying to cover yourself. So I see why she would do something like that, right? Let's go.
Is naturally going to raise suspicion, and surprisingly, Taylor herself would go on to admit that indeed, the car belongs to her.
Here's the deal. One of the females that we got out of here, when I said, well, who's this car belong to right here? And everyone pointed to me. And I said, that's your car? She said, yeah, that's my car.
With this revelation, the focus was pinned directly on Taylor, and it was time for her to explain how she ended up in the possession of a dead man's car.
Taylor, Officer Hendricks, obviously. Did he read you your Miranda rights? He did? Like your rights to an attorney, everything like that? Okay, where'd you get the car?
I already told him.
You tell me.
I did, okay, that boardwalk, it's just like a friend. That's it. His name's Sean, but I don't know his last name.
White or black?
He's white, but I don't think he thought it was stolen.
No, I didn't say it was stolen.
No, I'm saying, like, I don't know.
Okay, I'm just
I really don't know how he got it, though. But
okay.
I'm saying, like, I was like, dude, like.
You got your phone on you?
No, I don't got nothing on you.
Where's your phone at? In there?
I ain't got a phone.
Come on, everybody got a phone.
No.
She didn't have a phone when I arrested her 2
Thank
weeks
you.
ago.
I don't. My daughter shouted
She
at my
had to use her
shit.
girlfriend's phone at the time.
So you got it from Sean in the first entrance off of Albert Pike to 4201 Kincaid. Boardwalk.
Address, but dude, he's a crackhead. Okay. That's why I
Okay. You give him any money for it or anything?
No, like he likes me like that. We're just friends.
What's his name on Facebook?
Sean? I don't know. I don't have a phone. I don't get on my Facebook no more.
All right.
Despite Taylor's vague recollection of how she came in possession of William's car, officers managed to get a name from her. Sean, who is a friend of Taylor that she borrowed the car from, or at least that's what she claims. If her story is not a complete fabrication, then whoever Sean is could be the key to solving this case. However, it's at this time that officers realized they didn't know nearly enough about Taylor, her background, her relationships, and whether she might be tied to Denton Stringer, the neighbor who was already under suspicion. So over the next few minutes, we will follow these officers in real time as they connect the dots and discover critical information in one of the best detective works we have ever covered.
Hey, I arrested her.
I got lucky.
2 weeks ago.
I'm
Lish, or Elkins.
Do you know Sean?
Is he a white guy?
Yeah.
I think that's a baby daddy to her or something like that.
Is her baby daddy?
She's got 2 kids.
Okay. Yes.
Hey, check him. Come here. That's Taylor's grandparents' house.
That's what I said, because the address looked familiar. And then when I heard she was coming out here, it's like, I know this chick. Hey, are they homicide or? So you beat to death. Really?
Where's she at?
Taylor, she's in the back of Shelby's car.
Hey, you know that's her grandparents' house, right? The South Greenwood address is her grandparents' house. Hers.
1802?
Yeah, I swear to you. She's bonded out to that address out of Crawford County. She's got like 10 felonies pending. I swear to you. Is it?
The officer just made a crucial connection. Taylor's last known address, given to police during her previous arrest, was her grandparents' house, and the same duplex that William lived in.
Shut up. Did you tell Shelby?
I said, I think that's, yeah.
1800 South Greenwood. Hey, Sarge.
Give me just.
Her address is the neighbor's address.
Huh?
Her address is the neighbor's. 1800 South Greenwood is her
That's
uncle or her grandpa or her dad.
That's what I'm telling you. That's her grandpa's house, and she's bonded out there. She's got like 10 pending
1800
felonies
South
in Crawford.
Greenwood is all in ISIS about it. I think this is.
She's bonded out there because I arrested her 2 weeks ago, and then like a week after.
Her address is.
It's the 1800 South Greenwood. She
One to the right
got
or the one to the
domestic
left?
assault. The guy that called it in.
Wow.
That's his is 1800 because our guy's is 1802.
The officers figured it out. The two prime suspects were related. Taylor was Denton's granddaughter, and likely the daughter the woman in the shop had found suspicious earlier. But what these officers are about to discover next would put the spotlight solely on Taylor.
Ballman has her.
Moa, I don't understand how the hell she out either 10 felonies. They probably must have been like very low crime felonies, probably forging checks and stuff like that. It probably wasn't violent felonies, because I don't understand 10 felonies. Jesus, right? Teresa says she's in big time trouble. Oh yeah. Yes, exactly, Kim. Yes. Oh, okay. So let's see. We're going to have to block someone there. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go on.
Her on camera leaving on the 8th in the car. Leaving the address. 8th. Yeah.
So 3 days?
About 3 days, yeah.
You know,
This is Monday night.
She lost.
Yeah, the decomp half. Yeah, it's about 2 days, 3 days.
With this final piece of evidence, it is safe to conclude that Taylor Elkins has a major role in William's death, and detectives needed to get to the bottom of her involvement. The other detained individuals were briefly questioned, but no one had direct ties to William or knew anything about the stolen vehicle, so with no solid evidence against them, they were released. With the on-scene investigation at its end, the next move was obvious: taking Taylor in for a formal interrogation. A few hours later, Taylor is placed inside an interrogation room and left by herself for the next 10 minutes, giving her enough time to come up with a plausible alibi to go with. What Taylor doesn't realize is that when the detective walks in, he has information that will completely disprove every excuse she has.
Hello, how are you?
Okay.
Could have been better? All right, Taylor, so you know why you're down here, right?
Yeah.
Well, why are you down here?
Supposedly the car is stolen. I don't know. I had it in my. Well, I didn't have it in my custody. Well, I don't know how to say it. It wasn't in my property. I wasn't in the car or nothing like that. But it was stolen, and
Off the back, her mannerisms show that she's hiding something and she's just telling a story. You could just definitely tell the crossing of the arms. Like I said, we can't really hold that with women with the crossing of the legs. Most women cross their legs, but definitely from the upper half of her body, she's not being forthcoming. And she's also not really even looking at the detective when she's explaining herself. She's looking to the side, not trying to have eye contact with him. Let's go on.
Everybody pointed the fingers at me, and I mean, I admitted to driving it, so yeah.
Okay. And where did you get it from?
This dude named Sean.
Sean who?
I don't know his last name. I don't know his last name. I say hey to him basically. He's just a friend. Like he does drugs, you know. So I mean, I don't know everybody's last name.
You been arrested lately?
Yeah.
When's the last time you were arrested?
Last week.
Last
That's
week?
when I got my kids taken.
Okay.
It was Miller and this other guy.
And when
That's a
you
strong
bonded out?
possibility.
I got finished one.
Okay, what address did you use when you bonded out?
It's Windsor.
You sure?
Where's my grandpa's?
Who's your grandpa?
Denton.
Denton.
Stringer. See, that's why I'm bonded out too.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm bonded.
Did he bond you out?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Where's his address?
He can afford it. 1800.
1800 what?
Greenwood Avenue.
Okay, when's the last time prior to that you were over there?
2 days ago.
And what were you doing over there then?
My grandpa.
Okay.
I haven't bonded out. I just chill over there.
Just chill over there?
Yeah.
In just a few minutes, this detective was able to make Taylor confirm most of the evidence connecting her to the crime. In her own words, Taylor admitted that Denton Stringer is indeed her grandfather, she had William's car for a few days, and most importantly, she was at Denton's house the same period when William was killed. But this detective was just getting started, and he's about to make Taylor dig her own grave.
So what about the guy that lives right next door to her? You know him?
Yes.
Who's that?
His name's Bill.
Bill what?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know people's last names.
Oh.
Yeah.
How's Bill?
Oh, I don't know.
When's the last time you seen Bill?
I don't know. I don't know. He works the other day.
So this car you've been riding around in, whose car is that?
I don't know.
You never seen that car before?
I've seen it.
Where?
There.
Where?
Oh my.
Where, Taylor? Where, Taylor?
There. That's his car. Man. Wow.
I think you kind of knew that.
No, I didn't. I really got in.
I think you did.
I didn't.
I think you did.
I didn't.
She's not fooling anyone. She just said that she knows that car. She's seen that car around where her grandfather is, the duplex, right? She's seen that car before. But when it was on the scene and it was questioning her about the car, she said she got it from a friend. She said you borrowed this car from a friend for a couple of days. But you also saying that you seen that car before where your grandfather lives. So which one is it? Do your friend live near your grandfather? No. So how, so now her acting like she doesn't understand. She's just like, oh wow, I told too much information. I have to act surprised right now.
I think you know Bill.
I know Bill, yeah.
How well do you know him?
I don't know him that well.
And when's the last time you seen him?
Like I said, like he comes in and out. I don't know. I don't pay attention to him. Like he ain't nothing to me.
Really?
He ain't nothing to me.
You kind of got all defensive all of a sudden on me. I'm just kind of curious.
Because you all up in my face now.
No, you got all defensive before I ever stood over.
No, like you're in my face. Like,
I want to make sure that we're understanding each other.
And we are.
Okay.
I don't, like, I don't know. I can, like, pay attention. I be doing my own thing all the time.
Okay.
So. Why are you staring at me?
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out if you're being honest with me.
I am. I'm actually being honest with you.
Taylor is trapped. She just implicated herself further by admitting that she knows William and, to her surprise, was driving his very car. After this brilliant line of questioning, the detective tells Taylor to sit tight and leaves the room. During this time, he would make a phone call to Taylor's grandfather, Denton Stringer, and Denton would tell him that Taylor was at his house a few days ago along with 2 white males. With this information at hand, the detective comes back to the interrogation room with one goal: make Taylor confess to whatever she did inside William's home.
You take a nap?
Tired.
Oh, you and me both, girl. I'm old. I need my beauty sleep, can't you tell?
legit tired.
So let me ask you something. Do you have a phone?
Oh,
You don't have a phone? How come?
my daughter shattered it.
She did what?
She shattered it.
Oh, how long have you been without a phone?
Huh?
How long have you been without a phone?
Like total 2.5 weeks.
Okay. Taylor, you went to your dad's today. Were you there earlier this week, like Monday or Tuesday? Well, let me rephrase that. You were there earlier this week, and you had two white males with you. Who was those two white guys that were with you? Because I've already talked to your grandpa. Okay, and right there beside your grandpa's at school.
Yeah.
That school's got video, and it shows you showing up with two white males. So I'm just kind of curious. Who are those two white males on?
I don't even remember two white males, really.
You know? So, you don't believe that's Bill's car?
I mean, if it is, that's fucking amazing.
Even when directly confronted with undeniable facts, Taylor continues to play dumb, even making a mockery of the entire situation. So, in order to make it clear to Taylor that this is a serious situation, the detective would reveal the true reason she's in the interrogation room, because she is a murder suspect.
You know why that's Bill's car?
Why?
Because he's dead. They beat him to death. And you're driving the car from a man who's been beat to death. And I don't know that you ain't got something to do with it. And you want to play tough girl with me, and let me tell you, this is not going to work out for you real good. He's been beat to death.
No.
You think I'm lying? Why the hell do you think I'm here? You know why I'm here? Do you know what my title is? Homicide. Hey, it's got real. You talk about losing your girls, you're fixing to lose them for a lifetime.
You do nothing, though.
You know what? You're knee deep in this shit right now. This just got real.
do nothing.
You better start coming clean with what you know.
I told you.
I'm just letting you know. Here's where we're at, Taylor. I'm gonna be honest with you. This can go either really good for Taylor, or this can go really bad for Taylor, because I can promise you I'm really good at what I do. If I can catch you in a lie, and if you lie to me, I will put you in prison for the rest of your little life. Just know that.
Now that Taylor understands the severity of everything and is deeply emotional, the detective will seize the moment to confront her by exploiting her vulnerable state in hopes that the emotional pressure will break her defenses and compel her to finally tell the truth.
The way how he's doing it is the proper way to handle and address this girl. She thought that she was tough. She thought that, her looks and the I don't know situation was going to be enough for her. And then when he went in hard, he went in with evidence, then all that whole I'm tough and I know what I'm doing, that went right out the water. Now the waterworks started coming out. Now she's like, oh crap. I'm about to go away. I'm going to have to go away for the rest of my life. She's nervous. She's breaking down, and she's thinking that the waterworks is going to help. It was the right tactic to use for her. We have seen other tactics when men come on as they pushovers and stuff like that. They're going on that alpha type of situation. Who's the big dog in the room? With her, he had to crack it to let her know that this is serious. This is not, oh, I just went and stole lipstick from a store. You are literally rolling around in a dead man's car. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is really, really serious. So the heat is on for her. The heat is on. And let's see. Yeah, Amber, shout out to you. Thank you for stopping by. Don't cry now. I know, right? Teresa, definitely real. Yep. Yeah, Jen's News. He said, this man is ice cold. Yeah, he is. He's not playing around with her. Thank you so much, Moa. I appreciate you. Please double tap the screen. Get the likes up for me. I truly appreciate it. Ronald, bam. Yes, exactly. And shout out to RJ. Thank you so much, sir. He says, happy belated Valentine's Day, MJ. Thank you always, my sister. Thank you, RJ, for the $10. Shout out to you. I always appreciate your support. I truly, truly do. Rachel Osiria said, love how he's playing good cop, bad cop. Yeah, exactly. It's really good. Paula says she's a worse actor than a fellow. I hear you, Paula. I hear you. I definitely hear you. Yeah, Sophia, she is cooked. She's definitely cooked. All right. Hey, Sherelle, how you doing, darling? I hope everything is well with you, beautiful. How you doing this weekend? And let's see, Path to Eternity. Shout out to you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. All right. And Yaso. Oh, don't be like that. Come in nice, right? Let's go on.
I'm not threatening you.
I
am promising you. So, if you give a damn about Bill, if you didn't kill him, if you didn't beat the hell out of that old man, you're driving the car that was taken after they beat him. You better come up with who had this damn car or who you took over there with you that seen him and went back and targeted him.
I told you I got it.
Listen to me. Here's the truth. You better start coming up with some full names. Because you know what? Who do you need to think of right now? Who's the most important person in your life right now? You and your babies. And you better take care of them.
I tell you.
You better think hard. Because I got all night. Hell, I get paid by the hour. I'll stay here all weekend. You're driving around a dead man's car.
I didn't know he was dead. I wasn't there.
But you know the people who probably killed him.
I told you I got the corpse.
Shot who? In the apartments that you pointed out?
Yeah.
The guy, the old man died in it, had a heart attack and died in one last week, and the other one's got an old woman that lives in it.
That's fine. No.
I'm giving you an opportunity right now.
Okay, I'm telling you.
Okay, tell me.
I told you. I'm telling you. Like, bro.
Let me ask you this. If you had to get Sean right now, where would you go get him at?
What?
What apartment number?
It's in the corner. It's 4, 5, 6, 7. It's either 5 or 6.
Oh, you did that, bro?
Now it seems like Taylor has a story to prove her alibi. Taylor claims that William's car belongs to a man named Sean, who she borrowed the car from recently. If what she's saying is true, then Sean could very well be the perpetrator of this evil crime. However, Taylor would also proceed to point more accusations towards Sean, telling the detective that he assaulted her, ruined her life, and took her kids away. This means that Taylor was likely involved in a relationship with Sean for a good amount of time. But what's strange about this entire story is that every time the detective asks Taylor for personal information about this Sean guy, she dodges the questions and refuses to give any information away. So, with Taylor seemingly uncooperative, the detective would end this interview to get to the bottom of her claims and figure out who Sean really is. And
she should have just remained quiet, right? Because there could be a possibility that the Sean guy is involved, right? And if you didn't know that the car was stolen, but I don't believe that. I think you did know that the car was stolen. But you could have got a lawyer and you could have at least, if anything, get another charge for joyriding, right? Get a charge for joyriding instead of murder, right? You know, I think if I had to outweigh the situation, I think joyriding would be a better thing to get charged with than actual murder. She should have just stayed quiet, got a lawyer, but then she does look like she's under some form of substance or influence, you know, in that type of way. She was caught at somebody else's house. They could have been smoking. That could be the case. But yeah, she should have just remained quiet. She should have definitely just remained quiet, and she could have got a lawyer and figure something out. But this Sean person, she says this guy is Sean, but she doesn't want to give any details. She doesn't want to give any more information about this guy, where his address at, where he lives. You know where he lives. You're giving the detective the idea that you've been in a romantic relationship with this person. It's criminating you more because the possibility is that y'all both could have had tried to rob Bill, and then you took the car and went joyriding with it, right? Let's go on.
what they discovered would put Taylor in an even worse situation.
You been thinking about anything?
Oh, I fell asleep. It hurts or whatever.
Had a little issue. So this is the guy you saying you got the car from?
Hey, Hazel.
Are you sure? Well, I told you he's in jail. I told you he's been in jail since June the 6th. You think I'm making this up?
No.
So if he's in jail, how did he give you the car?
It was him. I had to be sure.
You better rethink this, Taylor. That's looking like you killed him.
No, yeah, I knew it wasn't me.
You think it's funny?
No, I said it wasn't me.
Well, you better figure it out then, because you just lied.
Well, I didn't.
Sean giving her the car was a completely fabricated story, and the detective
Thank
just
you,
proved it. So, with this major lie exposed, Taylor is taken away to sleep in jail while detectives work on finding more incriminating evidence against her. The next day, Taylor is brought back into the interrogation room in an orange jumpsuit. This time, the detective has prepared undeniable evidence to thoroughly debunk her entire alibi and make her confess.
You wanna know what happened to Bill?
I didn't have to see a picture of it.
You believe he's dead now?
Yeah.
You still think this is all a joke?
No.
You sleep last night, didn't you? You won't sleep. That's what haunts you. There's only one way you're ever going to get any relief, or you're going to get any closure, and you're going to have to tell us the truth of everything you know, and you haven't done it yet. And it's going to be the hardest thing for you to do, but it's the only way you're going to get any peace ever. At a minimum, if you didn't do it, you know who did? Are you scared of the person who's involved in this?
I don't know who's involved in it. You really think you get stuff out of people by threatening them?
I'm not threatening
them,
you.
getting in their face and stuff?
I haven't got in your face.
I'm saying with you.
I haven't threatened you. I'm letting you know what's fixing to happen to you.
Because you don't believe anything.
I'm sorry?
You don't believe anything.
I don't believe liars. Okay? And you're a damn liar.
You need to be out there getting a real killer.
Well, you need to be helping us. If you even cared about the old man that's been beat to death and shot, you need to be helping us.
You just shot?
You don't think he was shot?
Was he?
You tell me?
You just showed me the top.
You not see enough? You don't see again to get a better look?
I don't.
I want you to remember that picture every night of your life.
Nope.
Of course you do.
Every night.
Elkins' body language has shifted from cocky and playful to scared and confused, and just about everything else in between. Her behavior would change again after she's allowed to make a phone call to her mother, where she'd stop pleading innocence and start playing the victim. She's now going to paint a picture of a man named Joseph Rogers, better known as Joe, that will make him out to be the bad guy.
So we let you talk to your mom. So now what I would like to ask you for you to tell us the truth.
The truth, I mean, I told y'all the truth today, but I just didn't tell y'all all of it.
Tell us again what happened and exactly the truth the way it happened, okay?
I said, Joe came over that night and he asked me what he had in the house, and I told him that he didn't have shit. He's like, will you knock on the door? I knocked on the door. And then he went in, I left. That's when I went to McDonald's. And I came back, he told me he took care of it. I didn't kill him though, I didn't do nothing like that.
When he said he took care of it.
He told me that at the casino because I kept asking him what happened. Because I didn't want to part in it, so I was scared. I didn't want to go in there or nothing. I didn't know what happened. And I kept asking him what happened. He kept telling me that he took care of it, that it's okay, that he finished it, blah, blah, and nothing would come about it. And he just kept.
Oh, this girl's bad. She does not care one bit that she unalived that man, right? And she's sitting up there blaming another person, saying that they took care of it. Why would he be saying to you, I took care of it, if you didn't have a conversation with him that you was going to rob or do something to that neighbor, right? You're trying to make yourself seem like a victim, but you're having conversations with men about, hey, what do this person got over there? You think we can get something? You said that y'all went over there to knock the door. So you went in and you bum rushed this old man. And then you said that you didn't want to be involved anymore. So you just grab his keys, take his car and go to McDonald's and come back. And the guy tells you, oh, don't worry about it. It's all taken care of. Girl, really? This is what's going on now? This is crazy. Let's go on.
I'm telling you, he's like, you get rid of those TVs, blah, blah, blah. He said, I'm not touching them. And that's when I had peep on him. Like, I didn't know. If I knew all that, I would have took his car. Like, if I knew he was dead like that, where's you? Like, I just...
Elkins has implicated Joe by claiming he'd taken care of William while he was robbing him of his belongings. She also claims he's behind the whole thing and she was too terrified to stop him. If this wasn't the third story she'd came up with, the detectives may have believed her. But what Elkins doesn't realize is that the detectives have potential evidence that will place her at the scene of the crime and prove she's been lying all along.
Taylor, one thing that is concerning is the fact that Bill does have hair in his hand. Okay? And we had a detective down there during his autopsy who states that the hair is the same color as yours. And Joe doesn't have any hair. So where would that come from?
Because I didn't see him at first. That's the truth. That's why I gave a hair sample. So I'm up with an eyes. Yeah, that's why I gave a hair sample, because I didn't...
Did you ever see Bill after McDonald's?
If that lock of hair they found on William's body belongs to Elkins, then her stories will mean nothing, as the physical evidence will do the talking for her. But right now, that's not the only thing she has to worry about, as detectives have even more evidence that proves her whole story has been a lie from the very beginning, and it's all thanks to the GPS tracker William's wife installed in his car. That GPS tracker would also help detectives to map everywhere she had been from the very moment she stepped in the car, and then use the CCTV to determine who was inside the vehicle.
I know you don't have me, I'm sorry. You got a job to do, I hope you understand that. Let me show you another picture. Who's that?
Where's that at?
Well, there he is in the car with you. In Bill's car.
That's Joe.
Is Joe the one who killed him? Joe was with you when you left the house. And when y'all went to the casino. Did Joe kill him? Here's your opportunity. We got the evidence. There's a tracker on the car. We take it straight from when you left there. You go to Kavanaugh. You go to the casino. So you need to get this gets real for you real quick. So you need to think about this. Because we're fixing to take this to the prosecutor to get a warrant for you for murder. So you better start thinking if you want to take the rap or you want to be honest, because we're running out of time. No, you ain't. No, you ain't. I just showed you. I've not hit nothing. I didn't say you watched. I didn't say you watched, but I said you know. But here's the thing.
Wait, okay, so people are supposed to come up and tell me, right?
Now that you're protecting him, you'll be charged as an accomplice.
How am I protecting him?
You know what happened.
So people just come up and tell me all the time now that people murder somebody. No.
This is your last chance of your life. I'll be back with that murder warrant.
Okay, come back with it.
Taylor's arrogance with the entire situation has seemed to finally have caught up to her, and her extreme stubbornness has left the detectives with no choice other than to resort to other methods of incriminating suspects, such as DNA samples, hair samples, and last but not least, the polygraph. The polygraph test was done off camera. However, the polygraph examiner would have some harsh words for Taylor after the test had concluded.
Get there.
Oh, Jesus. Test results are not good. You were showing deception. Deception means that you're trying to deceive. You're not being truthful.
I am.
I brought this in here to show you. You see that question that says R5? And that big spike on it? That's where you were telling us a lie. You were lying to me when I asked you in the test, were you present when he was attacked?
Not when he was killed. But attacked, maybe, not killed.
When I ask you, did you kill him? Your reading is stronger than that.
Oh my God.
I just want to
leave. Because you're just getting on my nerves right now. I'm not in the mood today. I've had.
Well, I really don't give a shit if you're in the mood or not.
Of course you don't.
All right?
You're a rude person.
I'm not a rude person.
Yes, you are.
You're a rude, cold, heartless murderer.
Not her literally worrying about him being rude when you sitting up there lying to them the whole entire time. You saying it's Billy Bob, you saying it's Joe. These poor men, they don't even know that they have a whole human being literally throwing them under the bus for a murder. Even one is already in jail doing a bid, and you try to add more. You try to add more onto this person's plate. Like, he can't even get a break, right? Poor Joe. He can't even just serve his time. He got to get thrown under the bus even more. This lady is crazy. Oh my goodness, right? Now, we all know that the polygraph is not going to be admissible in court, right? Because it's not 100% accurate. However, it could be used with all the other evidence that they have presented. The hair, when it comes back, right? DNA, fingerprints on the weapon that was used on Bill, right? They already had her in his car. They have the video that she was driving around in his car to many different points, the casino, McDonald's. So that will make it a strong case. And I think that she's, of course she's denying that she didn't do anything. I think what happened was she tried to rob the old man, and he tried to stop her, fight back. She hit him over his head. She thought that she knocked him out, but the simple fact, he's an older man, and she probably hit him with a lot of force because I think that she was under some substance too. And that's the reason why she wanted to rob him, so she can go to the casino, go get Mickey D's, and stop by her friend's house and go get weed or smoke, whatever. That she thought that he would just, he just got hit on the head. I'm just going to joyride in his car, whatever not. He's not going to remember. He's going to wake up and say somebody, attacked him. I don't think she necessarily knew that she bludgeoned him to death. That's what I'm thinking. But then she can be lying again, because she's been lying this whole entire time. So maybe she didn't know that she actually unalived him and just didn't care. She probably thought that since he's an older man and older senior citizens, they can fall, bump their heads, they can get an aneurysm, they bruising and swelling. People will believe that he just fell and bumped his head than actually being bludgeoned with a weapon. That's what I think, that she thought that she was okay to run around in this man's car for 2-3 days acting like she borrowed it. She's a crazy person. But yes, y'all are absolutely right. Evidence don't lie. Janogo, I think she's probably in her 20s. They said that she's a mom too. And just think about that. She's a mom. Right? She's a mom. She has her own children, and she's doing stuff like this. Her own children, she's doing stuff like this. RJ said they will now use all evidence collected to give a confession. Yes, that is the goal. Thank you, RJ. Appreciate you for confirming what I'm saying. All right, let's go on.
That's what you are.
No, I'm not.
Look at you. You have no defense for yourself.
I'm not, though.
Because you killed the old man.
No, I didn't. I know what I'm capable of.
Yeah, you're capable of that. You're right in the middle of all of it. Mm-hmm. And why you don't think you think you're so tough?
I told y'all what happened.
You ain't told us nothing. You make up everything to point the finger at everybody else.
But I don't.
You do, 100%.
No, I don't.
This is not going to go away. This is not going to quit.
Okay.
You're going to keep having your little nightmares that you have, and I hope you do for the rest of your fucking life.
Taylor would never formally confess during the rest of the interrogation. continuing to point fingers, blame others, sometimes being completely imaginary people, and playing the victim. William Dubois Jr. had suffered from 27 impact injuries and met a terrifying end the day of his death. The hair sample found in William's hand was eventually matched to the hair of Taylor's, adding one final cherry on top to help convict her. Detectives ultimately believed Elkins was responsible. Although she didn't confess to the cops, she allegedly made a confession during her incarceration. She also told another inmate that she went to William's house to borrow some money and had become angry when he didn't have any. So out of both frustration and pure evil, she grabbed a hammer and beat the life out of William without any remorse. Taylor's grandfather, Denton Stringer, was initially investigated as a potential suspect. However, with no solid evidence connecting him to William's murder or Taylor's involvement, authorities ruled him out. As for Joseph Rogers and Sean, they were both cleared of any involvement in William's death. The two had nothing to do with the crime whatsoever, and were simply scapegoats for Taylor to point fingers at. As for Taylor, she was charged with first-degree murder on October 9th, 2019, and in January 2020, she accepted a plea deal that meant she'd avoid a life sentence. Instead, she was sentenced to over 40 years in prison. Her first chance at parole will come in 2059.
Taylor. Wow, my God, like she's something else. That young girl is something else. You do that to that poor old man for what? What was the whole point? Just to get high? Just to go to the casino? Just to eat McDonald's? You did that. And then you're not even smart either. You do that right next to your grandfather's house and you act like nobody know who you are, like, and then the whole car situation, right? Like if you was even a smart criminal, you would have sold the car off or, turn it in for scraps or something. No, you want to go joyriding in this man's car and think that nobody is going to be wondering where this older guy is. It seemed like this community was a close-knit community somewhat, to the point that the shopette knew about Bill, and they knew about you too, right? It was just so messy, and I couldn't stand the fact that she was sitting up there trying to throw everybody under the bus, everybody that she had dealt with, all those men. And obviously the reason why she was so comfortable to throw all those guys up under the bus of possibly doing this, those are the guys that are always at her house. So it correlates what the shopette was talking about the type of traffic that comes in and out of the grandfather's house. She was having all these guys around, and she just tried to just name whoever she could possibly name to be like, yeah, they the ones who did it. And then I just, I was just standing back and I was like, no, don't do it. And I wasn't involved. No, point blank, you told on yourself. You told on yourself from the beginning. Once you said that you was having conversations about what that man has in his house, why are you having that type of conversation with random strangers, right? That goes back to like those felony charges that she has on her record. If she's into like stealing and perjury and stuff like that, then yeah, she's acceptable of doing that. But now to know that not only did you try to rob this man, you brutally beat this man with a hammer. Why? Why would you even do that? This is an older man. he was a retired teacher, like that woman is despicable. She really is despicable. It annoys me. I'm sorry, guys. That's just like pure evil. And she doesn't have no remorse either. She has no remorse for what she did. She don't even care one bit. She does not care at all. But she cared enough to know that she didn't want to be in jail for life though, right? All of a sudden, all that I don't know, and all those imaginary people that she was making and making up, saying that they're the ones who did it. She knew that she wasn't trying to serve that life sentence, that she asked for a plea deal and she got it. But at least somewhat justice was served, even though it's not really, justice, because this older man should be alive, right? He should be alive, and he should be, you know, kicking and going around in his little car and enjoying life, not being having his life taken from a pathetic individual like that. Pathetic. And then now her kids, because you remember she's a mom, they don't have no mom. But then again, looking at her, did they really have a mom to begin with? I don't think so. Well, guys, that's all I have for you today. Shout out to everybody that was participating in the chat. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you. I hope that you enjoy these cases. Like I said, this was in a little highlight to the past post-Valentine's Day. We know that love is in the air, but then we do see sometimes that love can be violent and love can turn into loathe. I just want to appreciate all of y'all for spending some time with me during your weekend. Please hit the like button on your way out. Please share this to anyone who likes these type of cases. If you're interested in joining the membership, you can. I have a membership that you can get exclusive videos that has different topics. I actually dropped a video to my members last night, so shout out to y'all. I hope y'all enjoy that that topic that I put out there for you. I also have merch for the corner community. If you want to become a corner boy or corner girl, I have cups. I have sweat jackets, sweatshirts for men, women. You can check that out as well. And if you also want to participate as just saying the thanks, you can send a super thanks, super chat, however you see fit. But I just enjoy everybody coming to have commentary with me, and your opinions truly, truly matter to me. Hi, Martin. How you doing? I see you, sir. I see you. I really appreciate you guys. I really do. It helps the channel. It helps the channel with your participation. I will be back on Monday. Okay. So Monday I'll come with 3 more cases for you guys. Also, like I said, just put in the comment section once I end this live, any cases that you want me to go over. I know someone put out that they wanted me to go over the Jembane case. I'll look into that too. But I appreciate you. Y'all have a great weekend, safe weekend. Stay warm, stay cold. I don't know where you are, but I'll still talk to you soon. Have a good day. Bye-bye.